When the kids are counting sheep, when the kids go to sleep, dreams and memories. When the kids go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's hard not to sing along, isn't it?
Yeah, and I like when you do the harmony.
Oh,
Is that the harmony
yeah.
you just did?
No, I didn't.
What's the harmony? Do you go up or
When the
below?
kids go to sleep.
Here, sing it again.
When the kids
Sing the harmony.
are counting
I don't know harmony to that part.
when the kids go to sleep.
Zen memories. Right here.
When the kids go to sleep. I don't know.
So beautiful.
A little ditty.
That's something I cannot do is sing parts.
Oh, you can
I was
too.
trying to in church yesterday.
You can too.
I can't do it unless
He's
I have
lying, guys.
somebody there. Like, I have to hear it. I can't do it by just hearing the melody.
I bet you could if you practice.
I bet you.
Because if you do practice it enough,
That's
if
true.
you hear it and you practice it enough, then that starts to sound like your melody.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I can't, like, I feel like you can just pick it out. Like, you can hear a song and you can kind of just, like, figure out what the harmony is. I have to, like, hear it and learn it and know it, and then I can do it.
Well, I feel like I've taken a long time to learn that too. Because my dad has taught me lots of things.
I love when your dad taughtens you things. He's such a good taughter. He taughts you all the time.
Yes, he does.
I hate when he taughts me. Stop touching me, Vince.
That's awful. Sorry.
Hey, everybody. We are back at Wtkgts. I've been seeing the tweets. People have actually been asking when a new podcast
I know. It
is
makes
up.
me excited. Like, oh, you actually
It
like
makes
to
me
hear me
feel
talking.
good. You like us.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's so special.
You're so nice.
Does my face look red? Hey, it's Omar. Come on in here, Omar.
Hola.
Do you want to come on in? He's doing some
Hola,
behind the
Omar.
scenes for the station 2. The station 2. Omar's growing a fro hawk.
It's getting long.
Let's get Omar's fro in here. Omar, bring your fro in here real quick.
Come
you might as well.
on in.
Come in here. Come in front of the camera and show us. You guys check out Omar's
Look
new
at his
hairstyle.
shirt too.
I like
You're
that
looking
shirt.
handsome
Dude,
today,
you like
Omar.
show up with the. Where do you get these shirts? Where did you pick that shirt up?
Vintage place.
Vintage.
Gotta have it.
Got it. It's what it's called.
Yeah, gotta have it. It's on the boardwalk.
We're
It's
going
true.
there.
I gotta have it.
Because now I feel like I used to see you in shirts like that. I'm like, well, that's a cool shirt, but like I'm too fat. I couldn't fit in
Going
that.
Cairo Cowboy. Is what I'm going with. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I'm trying to incorporate
Urban
it.
cowboy.
Into
You're
something clever.
you're the urban Venice Beach cowboy.
I like it.
I'm gonna go
It's
there,
very
dude,
handsome.
because I always see your shirts. I'm always jealous, but like before, I was always like having to buy shirts at Walmart in the triple extra large aisle.
Not no more, babe.
Not no more. I ran
No,
12
no
miles
more.
today.
In fact, you should put one of your old shirts on just for fun.
It drowns me. Even like a shirt that I have that's like an extra large, like that old blue Volcom shirt that I have that I used to wear. Like it was used to be small on me, and I'd have you like stretch it out. That's
Yeah.
like there was a time when Colette would have to like stretch my shirts out. I'd call
We
it the
called
fat,
it the fat
stretch.
stretch.
And she would
You
like
have to go up, under, and
here,
then
show
just
them how you
pull.
did it.
Okay, this is the
she'd,
fat stretch.
She'd go like this, and she'd stretch my shirts out, and then she'd go behind like this. I'd go
Do
like
the same
this,
thing.
and she'd like stretch them out. I'd be like, "Argh." So it'd be like nice and stretched out, so that I
It
could feel like I
works
could wear
though.
it.
If you ever have any shirts that you're like, oh, it doesn't fit me anymore.
And this is what
try
I used to do.
stretch.
If
It
you're
works.
just listening to this on the iTunes, you got to go to the YouTubes. A chair would always work for all you fatzos out there. Get a chair like this and put the shirt over like that, and it really stretches the shirt out, and then you don't feel that tightness in the belly
Yeah.
area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Glad we had some demonstrations on the shirt stretching today. Omar, did you switch over? We were running the Canon now, aren't you?
Now I'm running.
It's got the Canon.
I'm running Canon PowerShot.
That's what the
Nice.
Trippies use. The CTFXCers use that.
We
baby.
have one of those as well, but we do
I
not
just
use
haven't
it.
gotten used to it because I always put my finger on the top where the microphone is, and then I'm like when I'm editing, I'm like, "Shay, you idiot, get your finger off the microphone."
For those of
you
you
ever
who
do
are
that?
not watching,
Stuff, and it's like the mic is where
On-
the computer is.
Yeah, because where you flip
The
it around, I
video?
wish the
We're
mic
talking
was in
about
a different
cameras.
spot
Tough,
right here.
it's tough.
Because let's see, where's the microphone? Let me
you see
touch it.
it?
I'm gonna touch. I'm touching the
you
microphone.
end up always covering up the microphone.
Because it's right on the
whenever
top,
you
and
use
that's
that.
kind of where you flip it around. I feel like the microphone should be on the front here or something. Anyways, hey Station Chew, check out our podcast.
Station Chew?
Links, Station Chew.
Station
Stop
Chew.
chewing; it's bad for your lip. Links below. Check out our podcast with Omar. We're talking about his Cowboy Venice shirts today. All right, so let's get right back into it. We're back from the holidays. Christmas was awesome. See you, dude. I'll call you later. I love you, babe.
Yeah, it's been really,
It's been good to be back.
it's been
right?
good to be back. It was so nice to get away. At first, it was like, oh my gosh, we really needed a breath of fresh air. And then by the end of our vacation, we're like, we need to go home now.
I think it's because there were 6 of us living in the same room for 2 weeks. Because we went back to our house where my parents are living, and we stayed in our room, but our kids slept on the floor, and we slept in
Right.
the bed. So there's 6 of us in one room
It was a
for
little
2
crowded,
weeks.
but it was okay.
Talk
I think
about
the
getting
biggest
to know
thing
your
was
family.
when you're gone for a while, it just feels so refreshing to get back into things because you feel like renewed, rejuvenated, ready to go.
That has something to say about a schedule. Being in
Yeah.
a schedule is actually nice sometimes because while we're gone, it was like we didn't really have a schedule. I was like, what should we do today? And then all of
I
a sudden,
slept in,
yeah, it'd be like
stayed up way
4:30,
late.
and we'd be like, what have we done today? We haven't like got anything done. And then I was editing the vlog, so that was kind of I was still working on those and stuff. So it just feels good to be back into some structured scheduling,
Scheduling.
which means back to the grind of exercising.
But it feels good. I mean, because before I was getting really sick of the grind of trying to do everything. And now I'm like, I'm ready. Let's attack it.
Ready to attack it again. I am now that, I mean, the New Year's here, so there's New Year's resolutions, but I don't really have a New Year's resolution. I feel like I'm happy because you know how I was before. I was always like, okay, I gotta start my new goal on the first day of the first solstice of the winter annual prequel to the sun coming up every third Tuesday. Where it's like, I always felt like I had to like set these major goals, like, okay, on my 30th birthday or on the first of the year. I was always a huge New Year's resolution setter because it was like the first of the year. I always liked that like time, like, okay.
So what do you
this is
think
where
has
I begin.
changed? What's different?
I think I just really realized that today is the first day of the rest of your life. Not January 1st, not your 30th birthday, not next week. It's like just if you're going to do something, if you don't have that mentality to start right now, then you're going to fail. I promise.
It's so true.
Because I used to be like that. I was like, okay, well, I just know how I am. I like to measure it. So I'm going to start next week, which is basically a way to say, I'm going to put off this hard thing.
I'm going to
I'm
procrastinate.
going to procrastinate this great thing I have in my mind for another week. It's like, if you really have this great idea and this great motivation to do something, start it right now. That's why I feel like even if you didn't set New Year's resolutions and maybe you did, but you failed and now it's like the second weekend and you're like, that sucks. I failed
Yeah.
the second weekend. Who cares?
Just start right now.
Start today. Today is the very first day of the rest of your life. I know that's a cheesy saying, but I like it.
But it's true.
But it really is because you have that power to say, right now is when I'm going to start and change everything. You can totally do a 180-degree turn. Anyway, so I feel good about this new year, and like I've already been like living my New Year's resolutions before January 1st hit. So it was like when New Year's hit,
it
I was
doesn't
like,
feel like
so
a
what? Like I've
drudgery,
already
'cause
been,
you've already done
yeah,
it.
I've already been doing what I want to be doing because I'd already made that choice, a couple months ago. So one of the things that I did say for
and think of if a couple months ago you would have said,
what do you smell like today, by the way?
if a couple months ago you would have said, you know what, I'm going to start January 1st. Then you would just barely be getting
Seriously,
started.
then I would have not lost 105 pounds by now.
Yeah.
I would,
And I don't know what I'm smelling like. I
smell-
don't know. Is it good or bad?
It's so delicious.
I'm a little nervous.
Butter. Buttery cherry
Butter?
lemon blossom. It's like a...
Oh, sorry.
Did you spam your arm this morning?
I did. I just use butter. It's a great moisturizer.
You know what I hate about my running is I have a lot of phlegm when I'm running. Like I'm always doing these snot rockets. Is that disgusting?
Always? Like from when you first started running or just recently? Because
Like-
you may have a sinus infection.
No, I think it's like it seems like it's always been. Maybe it's just like the pollution in Venice or something.
Maybe.
I think I just get a lot of that.
I feel like
always-
I
I feel like I need to bring a snot rag
Yeah.
with me when I go
That's
running.
gross.
That's disgusting. All right. So one of my New Year's resolutions, I guess, or one of the goals I have for this year is that I want to run 3 marathons. I said in my Shea Loss video I was going to run 4, one every 4 months. But if you do some math, it's 3 a quarter. Yeah. So I'm going to do 1 every 4 months.
okay.
So my first one is March 13th. It's the Los Angeles Marathon. And I'm nervous.
Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Have you mapped out the other ones? Because you really should map out the other ones.
What do you mean? Oh,
Like,
when I'm going to
if
do
you're
them?
gonna do- 'cause you need
you're
to, like,
right.
sign
Yeah,
up.
you're right. Well,
Make
the
sure you
Toronto
can do it.
one, I don't know. The Toronto one's in May, so that's kind of like 2 that are pretty
March,
close.
April. Yeah, that's really.
March, April. But I feel like that, if I run one in March, that's like a full month to kind of like rest and but then train again for the May. I don't know when it is, but
Well, you can do it when they're scheduled, or you can make up your own. You
right,
can
I'm just going
run
to
for
focus on
26
one at a
miles.
time. So like whatever the one is next. But I know for sure I'm running the Los Angeles Marathon March 13th. 26.2 miles, because if the first 26 miles don't get you, It's that last point two that does you in.
Why is there a point two?
No, it's so. I think it's a marathon is measured by there was some ancient dude who ran from this place to Athens. It was like help me out. Athens. Do you know, Ralph?
A knight, I think.
A knight in shining armor?
That's the story I remember.
I think it was back in the time of like the Greek gods, and it was like Prometheus, or somebody had to run to tell of a war, and it was 26.2 miles to the other city, and he ran the whole way to tell him this war is happening or something. It's almost like the British are coming, the British are coming, but it wasn't Paul Revere because he had a horse, and that's
true.
Cheating.
That is cheating.
Paul Revere, you lazy son of a bunkum.
Hey,
bunkum.
We like horses.
Paul Revere, you're the best, bro.
You're the best.
Pound it, Paul. Paul Revere. Paul Revere. Yeah, 26.2 miles. I think somebody looked that up. I think it's the distance between these two cities, and that's why it's the 0.2.
You know, it's funny because I've never really wanted to do that.
I do.
I thought, it would be cool just to say that I did it, but when I start running, I get so bored.
Yeah.
I get so bored.
That's why you gotta like listen to stuff, and I have like books on tape. I listen to Dave Ramsey, and I just got a thing from Omar, but I don't want to play it because I don't know what he might cuss or something. We don't want him to cuss on our kids' podcast. When the kids go to sleep, check us out on iTunes. Download it below.
We're not creepy at all.
We will watch our children for free.
Okay. Anyways.
Okay, so we come back. It's a great new year. We're back in the grind. And what do we come back to find?
Walked in our house. Okay, wait. So Callie and Dave were staying at our house for a few days before that. So they had been there and seen that we have a little bit of a problem.
And by a little bit, we have an infestation.
Mice and rats. I think it's both. Or I don't know. Can they coexist? Or do they eat each other?
Yeah, we can't tell what the species is exactly. We haven't looked up their genome or whatever. But we think they might be rats because they're not cute.
They're really
because
huge.
Mice can be like, oh, that's kind of a cute little guy. It's like Gus from Cinderella. I just want to give him some corn. But their tails, that's what makes them gross, is their tails are like long and
like a snake.
Yeah,
Ew.
yeah. That's why that's what I think they're rats. They're small rats. They just haven't been fed enough because we do keep a clean house. So
I think it started in the garage because they could get to like droppings of dog food,
Let me phrase that. We keep a clean house with 4 kids and a dog and 800 people in our house at all times. We do our best. I feel like we do a pretty good job of keeping the house clean. It's pretty much dirty all the time, but it's in a constant cleaning process. We're constantly cleaning up, and then
there might be clothes
hours
on the floor,
later it's messy again.
We did mop the floor.
Right, exactly. That's a good way to say it. We don't throw crap on the dirt and stuff.
We throw lots of stuff on our ground. Actually, we like to go outside in the backyard with shovels and bring it inside and just cover the couches and stuff like that. It's just kind of fun. It's this weird thing we do. I don't know.
Anyway, so we have these mice, these rats.
There's
these
mice,
rodents.
and it's disgusting. We walked in and I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's some on the floor." Okay. No big deal. We can handle it. Then I went into our bedroom.
We're talking about mice poop is what we found all over the floor. Yeah.
Not the mice. There they are. They're so cute. No, we found droppings all over our bed.
On our bed. Where our pillows are. And I don't know how they got up on our bed.
I was freaking
but they're
out.
Up on our hi.
Up on
hi. They're up on our our dresser, and somehow they went from our dresser to our bed, and they were had chewed up some stuff. And I'm just picturing them crawling through our pillows and their long tails through our pillows, and ew, nasty. And
so,
this is the worst part.
To say, it was
the first
not
night,
a happy coming home to.
The first night we were back is we could hear them. It was we get in bed, we lay in bed, and it's that quiet where it's it's time to go to bed.
No, this was the second night because we didn't wait.
Anyways, one of the nights we were back, then all of a sudden you just hear their feet on our floor, and it's
you hear them in the house.
Maddening.
So wait, we set up all these traps, right? And there was one place that we didn't set traps because we didn't realize there was a hole in our hall closet. There was a hole in the wall so they could get in. And I was laying there. Shay was asleep.
I was snoring logs. This is 3 in the morning.
And I hear it run across the floor. And of course I sit up straight in bed oh my gosh, it's in here. Is it going to chew on my face?
In our room. You can hear it because we have hardwood floors in our room. So you can hear it in our room.
And I just kind of listened for a minute, and I heard it go into the bathroom, and then I hear it go into the hallway. It's
he made himself a sandwich. He watched some late night infomercials. He borrowed our Snuggie. It was really uncalled for.
I mean, he could have asked, really.
So she went and set up some traps in this hall closet.
Yeah.
And so then she's like waking me up, like I'm asleep, but she's like, shake. I'm like, okay, that's
Can't
okay.
sleep with a mouse in our room. Are you kidding?
I'm just like, I'm so tired. Like, just let him run around. I'll kill him in the morning. You know, I'm just like exhausted. So then you hear the trap go snap, and Colette sits up. Shay, I think I got it. And I'm like, and she goes running into the closet, and she's like, that little son of a, and she didn't swear, but she's like, oh. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, he snapped the trap and he didn't get it. So he like somehow.
He got away. He was fast.
The trap went off. I don't know if he grabbed the food and got away, but he got away, and Colette was
smart.
pissed.
So we set that one again, and we got another trap.
Like a huge one. This one can kill a bobcat, basically. If there was a bobcat in our house, it's like one of those bear traps. Like has like teeth. And it's like you could rip your leg off. Some of our children only have 3 appendages now.
So yeah,
because of that,
it's one of the risks you take when you're trying to get rid of mice.
So she's, bless my wife's heart. I'm like sleeping, and she's like battling these rats. at all hours.
It was a severe battle.
But I've got to say, I have the best trap placement because my brother Casey even came over and he set a bunch of traps all over the house. I've caught the most traps right underneath that sink in the garage.
That's true.
There's
that's where they're coming
spot.
out. There's like a hole under the sink in the garage, and that's where they're coming out. We've caught 4 there.
Yeah.
But listen, we set the 2 traps, and the mouse did the same thing.
He's smart.
He set both of them off.
Both of them.
And got away.
And he left us a note, like in those little cut up letters from magazines. It said, I bet I have 2 kilos of cheese by next Wednesday or you die. And that's when I drank his poop out of a water bottle.
Ew, it's true, he did. Oh my god.
Now I have whatever disease you get from drinking rat.
I have like horror stories about these mice. Shay, you can't say that word.
Bleep that out, Denise.
Rat is not a good word.
Can you look that up? What disease do you get from drinking? What do they? I know they carry diseases. It's not like rats have diseases. They just carry them because they're like eat everything and they're so close.
Okay, wait. I think you need to, I know you don't like to talk about this, but you need to explain.
Okay,
here's
what happened, and I know that you guys are just dying. You've been all tweeting me, Shay, tell us the story about when you drank rat poop. We want to hear about it over and over in much detail as possible. So we have these water bottles, these Kirkland water bottles at our house, which we should get a filter. We do have a filter, but whatever. We're lazy and we want to pollute the earth. Anyways, we recycle these. We recycle
I use the filter a lot.
So there was 2 water bottles.
We gotta grab them real quick.
There's 2 water bottles like this sitting in the same spot, and I just got me a new one, and there was one that had been sitting there for 3 weeks. So
with the lid off, right?
I can't remember.
It had to have had the lid off.
Yeah, the lid was off. The lid had to have been off.
Otherwise, we got some really smart mice going on here.
The lid was definitely off. So it's just 2 water bottles, and I was just sitting there, and I just went, and I picked up this one. And it was probably just as much water as that, literally, like just the very bottom. And there was like 1 little mouse poop in there. And I like went like this, and I think I saw it out of the corner of my eye, like right as it hit my lips. So I don't think I swallowed it. But then the water was a lot warmer than I expected it to be because I just had gotten a cold one out of the fridge. So it like goes in my mouth, like right as I see like in my peripheral vision, and I'm like, what the heck? And like as I pull it, I just had a tiny bit in my mouth, and I just immediately spit it out. I think before because I could feel the warmness, and it was just like, so I spit it out, and it's like all of a sudden where you're just like, and you're spitting and spitting, like where you have like your mouth is just dry because you just spit as much as you can. And I just throw the bottle down and I just run to the sink and I'm like rinsing my mouth out and like I literally was gagging myself. I was like sticking my I don't want to talk about it.
And then I go out and he goes, I just drank mouse poop. And I'm like, what? Like this has to be a joke. I go and I look at the water bottle and sure enough, it was mouse poop.
I did it.
He did. It's okay, honey. Oh.
So I drank mouse poop.
So you threw up though.
So I gagged myself a little bit, but I didn't like really have much in my stomach. I know.
Fun to talk about.
So then I brushed my teeth, and then I started drinking pomegranate juice because I figure like that's healthy and it might like the citrus in it might like kill whatever's in there. So I'm like chugging this pomegranate juice, right? And then they're like, you should go rinse your mouth out with mouthwash. So I go in and we get this we get these products from Malaluka. It's this like Amway place. So I have like this mouthwash, but it's a conconcentrate that you're supposed to mix with water. So it's like super strong. So I just drink that straight. I take a huge mouthful of it and I'm washing in my mouth, you know.
I'm wishy-washing.
And I think I should just swallow some of this because I know it has alcohol in it, and alcohol kills germs. So I'm like, I'm just gonna swallow like half of a mouthful.
I don't think that kind does have alcohol in it though.
Maybe it doesn't.
But anyways,
I know, like, Listerine
that was the idea.
So I swallow like a mouthful of this, and it just goes down wrong, and it burns, and I'm like, oh no.
And it's
like,
concentrated, so of course it's going to burn. This is like so toxic
so I feel
right
like
now.
I need to burp, and then I'm just like, okay, here comes the pomegranate juice. And I go into our bathroom, and
Oh my gosh.
it all comes up. Pomegranate juice, mouthwash, 18 mice. There was a block of cheese in there, and Jimmy Hoffa's body all came out into our sink. It was a glorious time to be back into our house. The first day
It
we were back.
was something from the Twilight Zone. It was so weird.
And then
It's like,
our
what
sink
going
is
on
clogged.
right now?
Where I had put all my pomegranate juice, the sink is
Which
clogged.
I don't know why you do it in the sink. Why didn't you go in the toilet?
I didn't have. I was like, it was rushing. Like I drank it
Because you thought you were going to be spitting out mouthwash.
Yeah. Anyways, so then the thing's clogged, and then we have a sink full of pomegranate.
This is the grossest story.
And we look at each other, and we're just like, why is this
Why
happening to us?
Why don't we just go back to Idaho?
We're good people. So, we had all these plans to like, we were going to go to Disneyland, and everybody was pissed in the vlogs. We wanted to see Disneyland footage, but we were busy murdering and vomiting mice. So we couldn't go visit Mickey. He wasn't the first person I wanted to see at the moment.
Seriously.
That he's like the Hitler to all the little minions in our house. Mickey, I'm coming for you, Mickey. I'll be in Anaheim next week. Watch yourself.
Maybe it was him that left the poop in your water.
So yeah, and then I was like tripping out, because then I was like, maybe these mice are like really trying to kill me. Like they're like they're like laughing in the walls right now that
And
they
this was
got
Shay.
me.
He gave me a pep talk later. We will take our house back. We will have it back.
I was.
It was good. It was a good pep talk. I
was
was motivated. And then we cleaned the
We
whole
did.
house.
We cleaned. I felt.
washed every ounce of fabric
I'm
that we have
almost
in our
glad
house.
that this mouse thing happened, because our
Seriously,
house.
gotta clean up.
We're finally like 100% moved into our house, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the garage is cleaned. I cleaned the garage really good. Like all the crap that was in there from like the landlord, I got rid of
Literally.
it. Here's one thing I love about Los Angeles. We had
Mouse crap,
an
get
old
it?
dishwasher. Crap. We had an old dishwasher and like 3 old chairs, an old bed mattress, and all this stuff in the garage. I literally just went and put it out in front of our house, and within 2 days, it was all gone.
It's true.
Thanks, Los Angeles. But yeah, it's just like you just put stuff out in front of your house and people come and get it. Like that old dishwasher, this guy came knocking on the door. He's like, hey, I can fix that old dishwasher. I'll just take it off your hands. I'm like, that's why it's out there, bro. Take it right away.
It works.
Anyways, so we got our house all cleaned. I feel like the rat problem is under control. There's still definitely some in the house, but
we are taking care of it.
it's only a matter of time before
They're
we catch the rest
dwindling.
of them, because we're being very careful with the food. We're keeping the house clean, and we're keeping the traps out. And so, like, at the first couple of days, we were catching like 2 or 3 a day, and now it's like we're only catching like 1 every other day or whatever.
Trying to be really careful because we do realize that we have little fingers that could.
Right. I
catch a
noticed
trap.
that.
So they're in
You tied
inconspicuous
that closet
places.
shut.
Yeah.
I was like, why is this closet locked? So Rocktard couldn't get into the closet. Anyways, so we're back. The mice are at bay, and it's good. The kids are at school today. It's a Monday.
And hopefully there's not mice running through our house right now while the kids are at school.
They probably are.
Yes, we are back. And we
Okay,
are
so,
in
baby-
control of our house now.
What do we have scheduled for the new year? We got a lot of exciting things for this year.
Well, I can tell you all I have scheduled right now is to just keep my sanity.
That's what we have. We discussed that over the holidays. That
Talked
we're
about
gonna
keeping balance.
we're gonna try to be more
priorities.
balanced. We're gonna learn a new word, and that word is no. We're gonna do
Yes.
less projects, and we're gonna do fewer projects, but we're gonna do better. I feel like I
We
really
hope.
wanna
We
focus.
hope we
yeah.
make them better. That's the goal.
I want to focus on projects like more intensely. I think this year, like do something like really, really big and cool instead of a bunch of little things. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the vlogs will keep going, so check out the vlogs. And we're going to keep these podcasts rolling off the presses. So you guys just keep listening and downloading them on iTunes. I was really excited about all the tweets that we were getting about people saying, where's the podcast? I
know.
miss the podcast. Whoa, it's a lightning storm in here.
Seriously.
Did that look like lightning?
We got flashing lights, guys. It's
So
awesome.
I'm excited to see, do you think the kids will have a ton of homework when they come back?
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that we definitely need to hit on.
do.
Because I remember this is the time where they're learning the basics.
Right.
And I remember when I was in 3rd grade. Was it 3rd grade? Because we moved. My dad, he graduated. He went to school in Phoenix, and he graduated from DeVry. So we left Phoenix to move to Idaho for my dad to get a job. And in the process of moving from Phoenix to Idaho, we went to this school in Utah for like 6 months. And I remember I was in the 3rd grade, and the teacher would have this policy where it's like, as soon as you got your work done, you handed it into the box, and then the first kids that got their work done, they got to go across the street to get penny candy at the local store.
Which is so weird to me.
Because this was a very
They let
small
you
town.
leave school?
There was like 5,000 people in this town. It was a really small town, rural town in Utah, where it was like, you know, the guy who was running the gas station, it was like an old grandpa, and he was grandpa to all the kids in the town.
Right.
You know, it was kind of like that setting. If you picture like Lassie or whatever. So I was in 3rd grade, and this is right when we were learning our multiplication tables. You know, 3 times whatever is whatever. See, I still don't know what they are. Anyways, I was smart enough.
It's time to practice.
Or dumb enough, I can't decide which, that the teacher, she, bless her heart, was obviously lazy because she didn't check the work. Because the inbox was like stacked like 12 inches high of work. And I'm like, she never checks that. Because it took me a few days of like handing my work in and being like, she hasn't checked my work from like 5 days ago. Like I would see my like assignment like getting lower on the stack. So I was like, I'll just say I got my work done so I can go get the penny candy. You know, like that was the real reward for me, not learning my multiplication tables. So every day I'd just be like, I'd just be writing answers in I had no idea. I literally, as a 3rd grader, this was my thought process.
Shay,
I'm just writing an answer.
that candy was so important.
I know. And then I would just like, I'm all done. Here you go. Put it in the box. Give me some money. I'm going to go buy some penny candy. And like almost every day I got to go get the penny candy because I wasn't doing my assignment, but I was getting it done first, right?
That's so interesting because, well, what 3rd grader would be like, nope, I've really got to learn these so that I can go to college, you know?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, that is the smart.
This is our son,
like,
Suntard.
hey, what do I want out of this? I want penny candy.
So I missed out on learning our multiplication or the times tables because then I went to 4th grade and then we started with long division. And you can't do long division if you don't know what 4 times 7 is. It's kind of hard. You know, so I was still figuring out like, well, because she's like, okay, then just multiply this and then you know, long divide. And then I got behind on long division so I've always thought like, I'm going to make sure my kids know their times tables.
That's good.
So when they get home tonight, we need to get some times tables cards.
Okay.
And we're gonna, and maybe I could learn them too.
So did you ever go through the initiative to try to learn them?
I've always said that. Like I was like, I'm good enough now just of, you know, doing our finances and stuff where I can do the basics. But there's still some, if you ask me like off the top of my head, like I've learned the rules.
Think
like
about it.
7 times 5 is, you know, anything times 5 is always half of what you multiply it by. Like half of 7 is 3.5. So 7 times 5 is 35 or anything you times by 5. And I've learned those little rules, but like, I don't know if you went through all the multiplication tables.
It's funny because to me that sounds harder.
Really?
Yeah.
Does that sound harder to you too?
Yes.
It's because you guys aren't smart enough.
It's because we've just memorized them all.
Yeah, that's why. Because like if I know that like there's other people, they just had that memorized, you know, just like whatever this and this is this. But like I had to learn these rules because I never like memorized them. So I always wanted to make sure that our kids learn their multiplication tables. So they won't be behind.
Sense.
So Suntard,
learn your
he's in 2nd grade.
kids.
He's like right there at that time where it's like I'm gonna make sure there's multiplication tables everywhere.
Everywhere.
And
I've been actually pretty impressed. He's kind of quick at math.
He is.
I feel like I wasn't as a kid, but he always, whenever he does his homework, I always check it, and most of the time it's right. And his teacher even said this. She says, "I've noticed the only times he gets it wrong is when he's just trying to go fast.
He's like
like he wants to hurry and finish so he can go outside or whatever." Yeah.
But he is, because he's starting to get to the age where I can remember myself and like my own thoughts at that age because he's 8 and he just got baptized. That's one thing we did over the break is that Suntard got baptized. And I remember my baptism very clearly. Like that was like a big moment in my life. That was like one of those, you know, those big moments that you definitely remember, and you definitely remember that time in your life and how you felt about everything. So it's like I can all of a sudden start putting myself into my son's body. Like, okay, I remember what I was thinking at his age. Right. And I'm like, he's so much like smarter than me and more mature than me at that age. I can already tell, which is good. It means I'm a good daddy, I think, or he's just really good.
He was born that way.
I was born this way. What was that Lady Gaga song? How long are we in, Rolf? We should wrap it up. I know what you're saying. You don't want us to wrap it up because this is so enticing.
So join us for the next
Well, we are back. We are back, and it feels good to be back at Wtkgts. When the kids go to sleep, we're going to be doing them twice a week still, right? We just got it. This will be up Friday. Today's Friday that you're watching this or listening to this, but we will we'll get going again every Tuesday and Friday. Is that what we're going to do? Yeah. Right, Patricia?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yep.
You mean
Awesome.
you mean not Patricia? She doesn't work here anymore.
Oh, who are you today?
Whoever you need me to be.
Be sure to go subscribe to Gatty Girl on YouTube.
Gatey.
Gatey, yeah, cut her off, Rob. All right, so we're glad to be back. Thanks for watching and downloading the podcast. If you guys, you can download them on iTunes. They're free. You can go listen to them whenever you want. That's the one thing I realized.
Car, when you're running.
We were teaching our parents how to work devices this
Oh,
Christmas.
yes.
Like my mom
It was fun.
and her mom both got iPads for Christmas. And so I was explaining to them, I'm like, okay, once you download the video or download the song or download the podcast, it's like you're taking that out of the air or off the internet and you're putting it on your device. And now you have it. It's always yours. You can listen to it wherever you are. You don't even need the internet. And I was like explaining that to them.
It's so funny when you realize, when you're trying to teach somebody those things, like
How it works, yeah.
how far you have to go back to like
oh yeah,
the beginnings.
So
Like,
now this
is the
podcast
browser,
is
and
yours.
this
You
is
own
the-
it. It's on your iPad, and you can listen to it whenever you
Yes.
want. So you guys can have the podcast if you just go download them. Just pull them out of the air like this.
And they're just for you.
This
Like
is
we
my
wrapped it up in
podcast.
a little package.
I'm gonna take
Here
it
you
with
go.
me. Here,
Here's
put it in
your
my pocket.
podcast.
Put the
Here.
podcast in my
Here's
pocket.
the
I'm gonna take it with me. Okay, see you. Bye. All right, thanks, guys. We're
Thanks
back.
for joining us from Maker Studios in Los Angeles,
California.
I love saying that.
With When the Kids Go to Sleep.
When the kids go to
Shay and
sleep.
Let's make out to end this.
Okay. Mwah. Mwah.
Cut it,
Bye-bye.
Denise. Cut it.